right.
But now it's time to breathe.
Now it's time to be, it's time to arrive. There will be fear, but as long as we're here, well then we might as well come alive. Pleasure packed, you cannot deny. The pleasure pack will wake you up inside. The pleasure pack, it's a fact, and you won't know till you try. The pleasure pack, start living your own life. Start living your own life.
Aloha, this is Jamie Summers, host of How to Love Yourself on KAKU. I am live here with Dr. Tera Maxwell. We are also joining you on Facebook Live, and we're really excited to have this show with you today because we're going to be talking about affluence. Now, on our show previously, we've talked a lot about especially as women, how to set healthy boundaries and how to love ourselves and how to set intentions and how to connect with the source of who we are. And abundance and affluence is seems like this whole other journey, this box that we're not sure we want to touch. And we're like, oh, what is that? But affluence is not a stranger. It lives within us. And I believe we're going to talk about that today, how we connect to affluence within us and how we can do that on this journey, maybe some tangible ways, but also energetically, how can we connect to this fabulous feeling of affluence? And I'm here in my affluent dress today, feeling very affluent. And sometimes that's all it takes is putting yourself in an affluent mindset and the energy of affluence, whatever that means to you. So thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Tera Maxwell. I'm going to introduce Dr. Tera Maxwell, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her, and then you can tell me a little bit about who you are and why it is that you do. And I love offering this to our guests because it allows them to connect emotionally with those out there who don't know them and haven't seen them before. So Dr. Tera Maxwell, Ph.D., understands transformation. From college dropout to Ph.D., she is the leading expert on affluence, motivating entrepreneurs to break old beliefs and design a life of abundance. And I love the word abundance because it has the word dance in the end of it, abundance. Her scholarly work on trauma and intergenerational memories informs her signature, conscious reality creation method, TM, which includes healing emotional blocks. Tera, who is a Filipino American, is particularly interested in uncovering and addressing specific challenges faced by first and second generation children of immigrants. That's beautiful. Tera helps clients overcome self-sabotaging patterns and live on purpose in alignment with their highest potential. She now lives in Costa Rica with her hubby and 3 children, leading transformational retreats, coaching entrepreneurs, and of course, she's surfing. And if you'd like to learn more about Tera and Dr. Tera Maxwell, we can go to teramaxwell.com, TeraMaxwell.com. Tera, thank you so much for taking the time and energy to join us here on this journey. And it is always a journey on the show. We're always learning something about ourselves, being vulnerable and sharing something that's going to inspire others. And that's part of my mission here as a coach as well. So thank you so much for being here. And can you tell us a little bit about whatever you feel called to share about your journey? Oh, 1 second. Hold on. Go ahead. Sorry, I was checking your audio volume. Please repeat from the beginning.
Okay. I was saying I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to share this message. I'm grateful for what you've created and to sharing with others and helping others to awaken and to connect to loving themselves, which is the first step. And I'm an expert at what I do because I had a long journey. I used to call myself the queen of self-sabotage. And so years ago, I struggled. You name the ism, I struggled with it. Drug addiction, cocaine, methamphetamines, eating disorder for 20 years, codependency, relationships, whatever it was just whatever I was doing to try to fill up that hole inside. And part of my journey was it ended up when I was 28 years old. I finally was just, I remember overdosing from a concoction of designer drugs. I don't even remember what there was been so long, what it was. But I was lying on a bathroom floor and I just said, God, please help me. And I had been in and out of 12-step programs prior to that. But this time I truly surrendered. And that actually what I'm sharing with you is also one of the laws of affluence, which is the law of surrender. And it's that we have to surrendering our will to divine will. And it was at that point that I invoked the law of grace. I invoked the grace to go. At first it was going to meetings. I went back to school. As you said in the little bio, I had dropped out of college 7 times. I was either a high achiever or totally like it was black and white. And I went on to school and went on to get my master's and Ph.D. And it brought me to this work of looking at colonial trauma, generational trauma, and how do we heal from that? How do we heal from the baggage of our ancestors? There are so many programs that we have wired in our body, in our emotional DNA. And so, we can try and we think that we'll have to work really hard to make a lot of money, or that it's not okay to be seen, that you have to kind of just stick with the tribe. I mean, this is wired in us for eons, because that's how a tribe would survive. And so that was I began this process, but during working on my dissertation, I have 3 babies. We moved 5 times, and I had a writer's block. And it actually brought me to energy work. I was one of those people, I was not open to it. You have to have empirical evidence. I was very much in my head. And I cleared in one session my writer's block, shifting around money, shifting around my relationship and how I showed up as a mother. All these things, I felt different. And so I went on to study it. And, I studied EFT, I studied Carolyn Cooper's Simply Healed method. And during that process, and then after finishing my PhD, I realized I started to look at all these other, maybe some of you guys are listening right now, you can relate. There are so many people that are in the spiritual world that are healers, spiritual practitioners that get all this language, and yet it's not changing your bank account balance. Why are you still broke? Why are you still in this mode of struggle? And I looked at what I did and just reverse engineered. And that's how I developed the conscious reality creation method. I teach people how to birth your dream, your heart aligned dream. I'm not talking about, everyone says you have to have this big mansion or fancy car and like the front of what a dream is. No, your authentic dream. That it's absolutely possible. You're wired. It's your divine birthright. And so I teach people how to get in alignment. And I'll back up a little bit about this. A central premise of my work is when you are energetically aligned with your dream, success is inevitable. When you're energetically aligned with your dream, success is inevitable because you're working with universal laws. And so one of the things that was really a real light bulb is I read, maybe some of you guys have read this book. It's a classic, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. He interviewed 500 of the wealthiest men and women during his time in the 1920s. And one of the things he talked about, it was just a light bulb for me because he has these 13 principles. You do these things and you create wealth. Well, I discovered how to hack that. How to create the shortcut to accelerate your results. And it's through working with your energy, releasing limiting beliefs and emotional blocks, and getting in alignment. And that's just a piece of it and there's more that we'll talk about later. But that's kind of a little snippet of our journey. And then built a successful coaching practice and built a 6-figure coaching practice in 7 months, applying this method. And I remember being in another coaching program with a lot of other women entrepreneurs, and they weren't getting the same results. And the reason was because I was every day making sure that I was aligned. And that kind of focus and clearing whatever. And I had a lot of limiting beliefs. So when I first started my business, and maybe some of you guys can relate, even just giving my business card felt sleazy. It felt promotional. Like I had false programs about that. And like, how can you share your message and influence and assist? And my purpose is to assist in the awakening of this planet. And so, and spreading this message of affluence. How can you do that if you can't even give your business card away? Now we're kind of past business cards in the world of social media and the online world. And so, and part of that journey is that as I built this practice, my husband was in corporate executive, and we were living in Maryland, and it just wasn't aligned for me. I would have to do energy work every day just to stay afloat, because I'm very sensitive to the energy in the collective unconscious, and there's just a lot of frenetic, busy, gotta work. What Ivy League school your kid's gonna go to? Like just all this kind of energy there. And we ended up. It just became that I wasn't doing it. This was not my dream, and I was settling. And so I just started with the powerful question: where in the world will we thrive as a family? And a year and a half later, the universe. There were a bunch of events that I don't have to go into now, but it literally catapulted us into Costa Rica. We live on this beautiful hill overlooking the ocean on 2.5 acres. Our kids are growing up undomesticated, out of the system, leaving the matrix, and we're living our dream. And that is what I have to share with you, is that you absolutely can live your dream now. There's so many ways that we sell out and that we settle. And the way that we shift that is being able to look at what are those beliefs and what are those programs and removing them.
That is incredible. Thank you, Tera. I want to emphasize something that you said, which was when you are energetically aligned with your dream, success is inevitable. And
inevitable.
Inevitable. Yeah. I don't know why it came out inevitable. Inevitable, yes.
I like inevitable. It means you're inviting success.
You're inviting it, but then not. So we're inevitable when you are energetically aligned with your dream. Success is inevitable. Did I say that wrong again? Inevitable. I don't know why I can't say that word. That's what happens when you're on the radio. You say things funny sometimes. It's all good. So thank you so much for that. And I love the idea of questioning. One of our other guests, we talked about asking the right question. When you get into a place where you're feeling a little bit, things are getting heavy, why do I feel this way? Or what else is possible? I think Access Consciousness talks about that too, saying that question, what else is possible? I don't know if you're familiar with that. And there's a lot of energy healing modalities that talk about this, and it's just been coming up a lot in the show. So thank you for presenting that, asking the right questions. Where will I thrive? How will I thrive? In what situation or what career will I feel most in alignment with source or with universe, spirit, God, divine? And I think that is an amazing technique. And I love how you backtracked. I've been keeping track of a lot of things in my journey too, and I'm like, this is going to be my 3rd book. But then I get so much stuff, it's overwhelming, and I'm like, okay, I can't put that all in a book. It's going to take me a year or two just to go through all my notes, So I love that you were actually able to tangibly put together something that you can share and reach other people with through analyzing your own journey and through documenting your own journey. I think that's fabulous. I'm so amazed. Incredible. Thank you so much for doing that for all of us, on behalf of all of us. Thank you. And your radiant light is shining, whether you share one book or one word or just be in yourself, you're shining that light. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Well, I developed this conscious reality creation method, and there's 6 steps in it. And what's powerful, in fact, we're just about to launch this ebook. So like in the future, in the next week or so, because I wanted to give it to others so that you can see it's not rocket science. It's a mathematical equation. Everything that you see in your life right now this is a hologram. So it's a result of the beliefs, the programs, the feelings, all of this in the body and in your mind that you're projecting into this hologram. So if you want different results, you change the codes. We're very sophisticated biocomputers. Just like I'm speaking and connecting with you all on this Apple Mac Power Notebook. It's a computer. And if you want a different result, like what you're seeing, what you're experiencing in your world, you've got to change the codes. And so it really is simple. And I have clients that, whether, like, I have one of my clients, we've been working together now 4 years. She's a shamanic priestess. And when we first started working together, she was working 5 jobs. She literally was like, I don't know if I can afford heat. And she lived in Maine, the heating bill. But she took a massive leap and she invested in herself and she did the work, and she's a powerful woman. I mean, she's a powerful leader, light leader. And over the first year, she made close to 100,000. And now she has a multiple 6-figure business and scaling that. And so it's because she used this method, and so what happens with these steps, and we can go over a couple, won't go over all of them today because I think it'll be too much, is that you have clarity about where is the gap. You're like, oh, I'm doing power affirmations, I'm thinking so positive and everything, but this is still showing up. No, it's a mathematical equation. You can't say, 1 + 1 is 2, and you're wanting to get. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but like it's an equation that you have to change one of the parameters, one of the variables in the equation to get the output, whatever your vision is.
So it's like lining up all the elements in a very particular pattern or way. And is this customizable for each person?
Yes, because it's your vision. It's your vision, and an important part of this, like the first step, we can just go over today is committing to your vision. Where everyone talks about vision boards. What is your vision? What's your dream? The thing is that you could have a vision and it's not on purpose. So you're like, oh, I'm doing this, and you're not getting the results.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not in alignment. Maybe it's not from your heart. When I went through graduate school, the first year after, I went on the job market because I thought I wanted to be a professor with a tenure track position, and I applied all the same steps. I knew that I knew that with the right, publishing and all this, that eventually I'd get it. Maybe it could take me a couple of years, but I would do it. And when I got those rejection notices, the first 2 letters, I felt relief. And I realized, because I remember reading Martha Beck's, I think it's Following Your North Star. And I realized that the reason I wanted to be professor was that I was seeking validation from my dad. It was a respectable job. My dad's conservative, LDS, and energy healing. It was not the same. That's ego. And so once I realized that was like outward motivated, I was like, nope, I'm following my purpose. And then when I did, then it flowed.
And can you tell our listeners and viewers, how did you know when you clicked in that this was the brand, or this was the journey, or this was what you were meant to be doing? Was there a sensation? Tell us about that.
Well, I think one important principle is just following your heart. Like, what's your highest excitement? What do you love to do? And how can you create abundance? Sharing your gifts with the world. So I've always been a teacher. I mean, I was an English teacher. I taught at the university. I mean, I've always been a teacher, and so I'm still a teacher. I'm just in a different platform, but I have freedom, and I can be completely authentic. And those that don't like what I have to say, they can go away, and those that do will come. And so I think it's following that, and that's an important piece. Is that, like, when clients come to us in our company, sometimes it can feel hard. I don't like that word hard, but you might lack clarity at first because there's so much distortion in your energy field. You're worrying about what others think. You have blocks about being your authentic self and speaking your truth. There may be past shame, trauma from childhood, trauma from ancestors, like all this stuff. And so one of the things with this, when I talk about this emotional baggage, these blocks that we carry, it's kind of like you're going up, you know, like we all have whatever mountain, which is like our path in life that we're here to, that we've agreed, like this is my mission here. And so you're going up and you're doing it, but you have so much emotional baggage that you're still carrying. And so when we do this work, we release that. And yeah, there's action and you're still like strategy and climbing up this hill, but you don't have as much that you're carrying with you. So that's an important piece of it. Once you release a lot of those distortions, then you get to clarity. And another piece about this commitment to your vision, which is really important, is that, 90% of people are not committed. Like if you're saying it would be nice to have my house paid off, it would be nice to be able to travel the world with my family. It would be nice. That's a dream. That's not a commitment. Commitment where you declare a vision and it is done. 100% fiercely committed, and that can take practice to connect it, because then again, there's other blocks around that. Am I worthy and deserving? Or what if I fully step into my light, will my friends, or will I leave my family behind, or my love behind? Like we have all these other. So what happens is I have a 14-year-old, because we live here in the jungle. It's kind of like the Wild West. And so even when she was 12, she was learning how to drive our quad. And we were following behind her.
That's
and
amazing.
it's all dirt roads where we live. And we're following behind her just to make sure. She was going so slow, which was good. I'm glad she was going slow. But the whole time she had her hand on the accelerator and she had her hand on the brake. And that's why she was going like 3 miles per hour like this, you know? And that's what many of us are doing in our life. You're having your hand on the accelerator, but also on the brake. And you're like, why am I not getting results? Why am I not moving forward? Well, it's because you have your hand on the brake.
That's incredible. I love that. That is a great visual metaphor, because sometimes we're talking about this and it seems very ethereal and woo-woo, and like how can we make it tangible? And giving that vision of that example is a great offer for our listeners. I love that. And I love that you mentioned the seeking validation thing, because I think that's something that we all do. And being a teacher, I resonate with that too. I've taught a lot of work with children as well. So I love and resonate with that. And what you said about the distortion. Oh, I love that word. Oh my goodness. I love that. And earlier when you said stick with tribe to survive, that really resonated too. So my question for you would be then, so when we're committing to this vision, is that where, for me, that's a lot where, I have different manifestation processes as well, but there's an element of the surrender, which you talked about. At what point do you surrender this vision and say, okay, I visualized it, I felt what it's going to feel like, I could feel it in my body, these are the details, I'm going to let go and surrender. At what point does that come in your particular process?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually the sixth step in accessing divine support and activating the law of surrender. And the commitment piece is important because seriously, most people are not committed. Like something happens, they say they want to grow this business, and something happens and it doesn't work out, and then they quit. And so it's having that commitment no matter what. So the difference is, the surrender and the unattachment, because it's a dance. It's a dance when we're talking about conscious reality creation. It's not like it has to be this. I'm going to, I had a couple clients like, I want to be making $50,000 a month, every month, in the next 3 months. And the minute she said that, energy contracted because there was a contraction, and that's not how we create. We create through flow. Well, what if it took 6 months? You could say, yes, I see myself, I'm excited. You could put a date, and then also trusting the higher good. Maybe there's some other lessons, that there's some other things so that you can hold hold that $50,000 monthly revenue or $10,000 monthly revenue. And so it's, but yeah, the surrender is, it's knowing, and most people don't really surrender because we're in our egos, we're in our minds, and we're letting our lives being ruled by our little 4-year-old. And so, and that's something that can take practice and modeling to say, like, what does surrender look like? And like, okay, just turning over each moment. All we have is this moment right now. And so if you're thinking about paying the bills next month, or if you're thinking about like that thing that one time someone betrayed you in your business, this partner, and you're still holding on, that's the past. All we have is this moment right now. And so it's definitely this dance. It's a really simple process, and it's mastering it.
Thank you. We're gonna have a little break. Yeah, we're having a break.
Right.
We're gonna have a break in about 2 minutes. So just wrapping up what we were talking about. I should be like this. I'm like, Mickey Mouse ears, 2 minutes, or peace sign, whatever that is. Then I feel like I'm a politician, which we're having an election coming up here in Maui. So, I guess everybody's having an election coming up, but in Maui, it's a big thing. So where is it not?
Vote for me.
Yeah, vote for women loving themselves. Yes, and always. Vote for women, winning lots of things and going lots of places. Okay, so just wrapping up what we said. So this is Dr. Tera Maxwell we've been talking to on how to love yourself. I'm Jamie Summers, and she is an affluence coach, and she's living in Costa Rica. I'm in Hawaii. We're both living in our dream destinations, really, or a dream environment, a dream life. And I always say that when someone moves somewhere and they say, oh, when I get there, everything's going to be perfect in paradise. We still have our challenge. I know I can speak for me. I still got my challenges. But to be here is a dream for somebody that's lifelong, to live in Costa Rica or Hawaii or a tropical destination, especially if you're coming from the mainland. So I'm so happy to hear that you made that choice and that you are living your dream destination and wherever divine led you.
Yeah, and it's not just the dream destination. It's literally, you can live your dream. Every aspect of your dream, your relationship, where you're living, your health, the love in your life, like all those, like we have the power to create that. And the next half hour, I'll talk about the number one reason I see, like one tip that I see that keeps people out of alignment with truly creating their dream.
Ooh, that is exciting. So when we come back from the break, we are going to hear more from Dr. Tera Maxwell. I'm very excited. And I'm going to go ahead and do the control behind the thingy dingy here and play some commercials.
Hey, it's Suzanne Cahan from the Maui Zan Show. On behalf of KAKU, we'd like to thank Pacific Blues Society for sponsoring this programming. Bobby Ray Bishop's Lady Sings the Blues will be playing at Casanova's in Makawao on July 29th from 3 to 5 p.m., featuring Sweet Mama D, Nara Boone, Jamie Gallo, and Natalie Nicole Robles. Once again, thank you on behalf of KAKU, the voice of Maui.
Hawaii Youth Service Directory is online at 808youth.com. We envision a Hawaii where all youth are connected to the support they need to walk a pono path towards health, happiness, and abundance. 808youth.com is a free, easy-to-use online directory funded by the Office of Youth Services.
Trying to get
If
water.
you're looking for a family-friendly event, check out our events calendar and connect with us on social media. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
You're listening to the voice of Maui, community-supported radio.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Allie.
And we're the Motherhood, where we tackle everything from pregnancy to graduation with a little dose of humor.
Don't forget to tune into our show on Thursdays at 2 o'clock.
And if you miss it, that's okay. You can tune in for our replay at Saturday at 1 p.m.
On KAKU 88.5 FM.
Wow.
Funding for the Voice of Maui, KAKU, is provided in part by Maui Toyota, located at 320 Hana Highway in Kahului. For info, call 877-2781 or online at maui-toyota.com. Maui Toyota is proud to support community radio. If you are a business interested in underwriting programming on 88.5, please call 871-5554 or email us at radio@akaku.org.
Aloha, this is Jamie Summers on How to Love Yourself. I'm here with Dr. Tera Maxwell, who is an affluence coach, and I'm going to feel that vibration of affluence. And it is a vibration. It's more than just a list of things to do and a way that we must look or act proper or have manners at the table, right? We can be jungle women like Dr. Tera Maxwell and Jamie Summers. Although I don't quite live in the jungle area of Maui, but it is definitely wild in lots of other ways. It's close enough. There's jungle if you drive a little further down the road. So we are here today talking about affluence and abundance and how we can joyfully commit to our visions and move into this new, but remembering this already present energy of affluence, which is our natural state of being and our birthright. Yeah. So can you share a little bit more about what we were talking about, the affluence method? You call it the conscious reality creation method, and something that you created, something that you teach. And I know you have a lot of opportunities to work with you. If anybody feels interested in following more, you can find her at teramaxwell.com. And tell us a little bit more about this. I'm excited to learn.
Yeah. You know, what came up first is I think we need to share about, we talked about, this is about attuning to affluence. And so what I'm here to share with you is that, first of all, we're here to redefine what affluence means. A lot of people think that affluence is about excess wealth and luxury and all of that. Affluence is internal freedom, the ability to create what's aligned with our heart's desire whenever we want, how to bring it into the physical, really owning our power as creator gods and goddesses, really owning our power.
Love that.
We have it. It's our divine birthright. We know that we're made in the image of a loving creator, and therefore we have this power too. And so redefining what affluence means, this internal freedom. So it starts within, and that's why I like what you're sharing, what you're teaching about loving yourself. Like that comes first, being able to access and to love yourself. And when we talk about attuning into affluence, I outline in these 6 steps. It's releasing the blocks, committing to your vision. And one that I really wanted to talk about right now is it's something that I see really holds many, especially light leaders, entrepreneurs back, but actually most people, 97% of people, is that whatever your vision is, whether you're living on this beautiful, you want to like travel the world and have this amazing family and love, or maybe it's whatever your dream is, we get to embody a new identity. To be in alignment with that vision, it requires shifting your identity. Because I know for certain that the Tera, when I was 20 years old, would not be able to hold this. What I've created, what my husband and I have created here. Or even when I was 30 years old. It's taken a lot of internal work and shifting inside to be able to hold what we have. We have an amazing company, amazing clients who I work with all over the world, who are leaders, who are transforming lives and having massive impact and influence. And then the ripple effect continues to grow. And so it's embodying a new identity. And I think we talked a little bit about this when we were chatting up yesterday. What I mean by that is, let's say some of you are watching right now and you say, my vision is to create a 6-figure coaching practice. And you guys can just put in whatever it is for you, what your vision is. It's not even the six figures. Six figures, money is just the value. It's just energy. It doesn't matter if it's 100,000 or $1 million or $1 billion. It's just a number. I mean, literally, you can feel that it's energy. If I wanted to, we could just go on PayPal and I could just send you a little energetic transmission, and then you would receive whatever number I put in there, and you would receive this energy transmission, or vice versa. Like it's just energy, right? And then you use that energy to put that energy into other things, the things that you value. Energy, this money represents what you value. What do you value in life the most? Your money and your time represents what you value. So where are you spending your time? And where are you spending your money? If you're spending your money on bills, which I'm not saying, yes, we honor our obligations. So that's what you value. That's what's most important to you. But when we know what our vision is and we're 100% committed to it, when we put our energy towards what we truly value. Does that make sense?
I would like you to go more into that. When I think about valuing, like I spend a lot of affluence, concentration of energy on my home, because to me, having an affluent, prestigious home where it's clean 90% of the time, very pristine, and just having clear energy, just like my body is a clear temple for the divine. So I'm very particular about anything I eat, and I'm very particular about even bringing stuff into my home. Is the energy clear of that grocery bag before? Is it blessed before it comes in? And the same thing with the body vessel. So to me, I utilize a lot of affluence on what I put into my body and what I put into my home. Yeah.
Yes. So what's the question?
So the question, I suppose, would be, is that what you're speaking of? Is how you concentrate your energy of money is where you then, that's what's important to you. That's what you value.
Mm-hmm. So just take out your bank account balance and look at it, and it will show you what you value. So if you value clean, high vibrational foods, you'll see that. Unless you're paying cash, then you need to write that down. That's what you value. My daughter goes to a Waldorf school. There's money goes there. I value her stepping into her highest potential. My highest potential. One of my number one values is expansion. And so that's what I invest in, is in expansion. And as a result, wherever I put my money and resources, it multiplies. And so it's like it's just a good way to take an accounting. Also, even your time. I talked to a man the other day, and he was like, he really wants to. He's here to be a leader and a speaker, and yet he works 2 jobs and he works all the time. Doesn't have the time to put energy into it. And so it's, again, okay, look, what are you valuing? Where are you putting your time? Is that in alignment with what you say you value? And so when we're talking about tuning to this frequency of affluence, you can see how there's an incongruence. There's an incongruence. If I were like spending my money just, like, I'll give you an example. A lot of people say, like, oh, I don't have that much money or whatever. And then, but they'll go on trips. They go on vacation, and like they may value experiences. I value, my second value next to integrity is adventure, fun and adventure. And so it's just looking at that, like, where are you putting your resources?
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. So where do you put your resources? So looking at how that affects how you feel freedom in your life, and how you can shift that. So for some of our listeners, they may be struggling financially just to get by, but they have big dreams and they have big purpose, and big not in the fact that it's better than anything else, but it's it's grand. They have a grand purpose. They have a grand dream, and they have a message to give to the world, which is really most people, but not everybody is aware of it. So for those that are listening and watching today, how do they step out of that? So they've got these programs running around. They've got these blocks around. I mean, you could spend a whole lifetime deprogramming all these blocks. How is there a quicker way? Tell me about what you think.
Absolutely. You don't have to spend a whole lifetime.
Yes.
No, the work I do in 1 year is equivalent. Actually, one of our clients, and now he's on our coaching staff. Amazing. I'll give a shout out to Alan Atkinson because he's here from Maui. He's an amazing photographer, high vibration photography. And, he says that 1 year working together was equivalent to 30 years of transformation. So it's that kind of acceleration where you're clearing blocks and releasing, and then knowing how to shift your mindset and getting alignment with your vision and taking those leaps so that you birth it into the physical. It's the thing is there's lots of resources out there, and we live in a time now where there's YouTube. You guys are watching this on Facebook. There's lots of information out that can give you tools for little shifts, right? There's amazing books. I mean, I literally listen to Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich on Audible, and I go running like over and over and over again to retrain my brain. And that's what I mean about that commitment, because it's not just like, for me, I had a poverty mindset, poverty consciousness, low self-esteem. Even when my husband started making good money, I would spend it. Like it would come into the bank account and then it would go out because I wasn't comfortable with it. It literally made me feel like this. Yes, if you're just listening to it, but I'm like shaking my hands and it was like diarrhea. Like just
straight out.
Yeah. And so I had to shift that. And so what I'm sharing is that like I was obsessed with mastering affluence, mastering conscious reality creation. And so what it took early on when I had so many programs, I reprogrammed my brain like in the car for a year. We had the same book, same audio program over and over again until.
What book was it?
Oh, I'll share it with you guys. The Power by Rhonda Byrne. Power by Rhonda. And then when I would go running, Science of Getting Rich and Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, over and over again to boost what's possible. Because everyone, if you're listening right now, if you look out in the world, if you watch the news, if you talk to your friends and your coworkers, they're not going to tell you this. They're like, oh, that's just a reality. You got to get a job, got to go to work, save money, and then maybe you're going to have a nice life at retirement. And it's not true. I mean, that's one person's truth, but this is your dream. You can create your own reality. And so I teach you how to get outside of the box and how to expand and connect to your vision.
That's beautiful. So it is more than just the deprogramming. It's aligning with this vision, but being in a frequency or in a connectivity that you can align with the vision that is your true dream. Once you determine what that true dream is, okay, because I mean, I know for me and a lot of my listeners were like, oh, this would be great. Oh, I'd be good at this. Oh, this feels nice too. Oh, yum, So first focusing and committing to your vision and determining what is really my big dream that maybe I can't see or I can't touch it right now. I think I can't see it or touch it because I have these things going on that are telling me no, and I've got society in one ear, I got my parents in one ear, I got maybe a partner or a dog, somebody's telling me, that I can't do something, and I think it's not even possible. So how do you tap into that truest, highest vibrational dream that really is what you're meant to give and embody here on earth, which is really the truth of who you are?
We work on multiple levels. I mean, first of all, one of the things, and this is not, I don't say this as a plug for me, as a mentor and a coach. I want to share this because if I look at all of my friends, if I were to poll, and if you guys you could go out now on social media and ask people that you see what they're doing and you like their life and what they've created. I've personally invested over $200,000 in myself. I am my best asset because I can take that $200,000 and exponentially grow that. And I have. And so look at investing in mentorship. Because I remember when I first worked with one of my first mentors, my second mentor, I didn't have the money and it didn't make sense. And it was several $1,000s. And I'm like, well, wait, the whole reason I want to start my business is to make money. And now I'm having to fork out, almost $10,000, $8,000. But the thing is she held a higher vibration around abundance, and she had successfully built a multi-million-dollar company. And so there's strategies to success, and we don't have to figure it out on our own. Now, I say that the caveat, and maybe some of you guys can relate to this, is sometimes we make choices out of scarcity and out of desperation and out of, oh, you're going to fix me, like fix this. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you set your vision, like let's say I'm creating a $100,000 coaching practice. And I say that, but bigger than that is I'm here to make massive impact with the world and to serve and support others. 100,000 is a representation of how many leaps you're willing to take, how many quantum leaps you're willing to take. It's just a measurement of how much influence and how much service that you're sharing with the world. And so let's say you say that, and then the universe presents you with an opportunity, and you're feeling that excitement in your heart and that fear. And I'll share one of our mantras in our family. If you ever feel something, and this is a good signal to know if it's the good choice or not. If you feel fear, not necessarily because you feel fear and excitement, and you feel your heart beating, it's exactly where you should go. Because our mantra is fear means go. Fear means go. Because when you do, the universe opens doors. You collapse timelines. You literally step through a portal from the life you're living now into a different life. Like we're living a life that would take most people 20 years to create. And we did it in a year and a half. Because we stepped through a portal, we took massive leaps, and we didn't wait for the safety net. And so, but when I was sharing that, like with this mentor, she held a higher vibration, and I was able to, because we have it. It's not that we need it from others. It's not like that. It's just that because, well, this is humanity. We're here to work together, and others could hold a particular resonance, and then it reminds you, you're like, oh, that's what this feels like. Oh yeah, this is who I am. I remember this. This is affluence. Yes, I'm amazing. And you start to feel that, and you're like, and then you go out in the world. And often when we're left to our own resources, we get back in that little funk, or something happens, and then we're listening to our little self.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's a really great point, is that we talked about, we don't want to stick with the tribe to survive and not get out of our safe bubble. But at the same time, we need community and we need support to to be reflections, if nothing else, and to remind us of the greatness of who we are. And I know I've experienced that when I'm having a conversation with someone versus someone else, I'm a different person. I'm displaying different persons and aspects of my personality, and hopefully the same amount of awesome self-love that I've cultivated and am growing and I'm constantly in process with. But I will talk super galactic with somebody and be like, oh my God, the universe, horoscopes, yeah. And then somebody else, I'll be like, oh yes, very intellectual. That's very interesting. So it all depends on who you're resonating with, but also together you create this frequency. When two people are together, it's this, it becomes part of community or a tribe when it's more than one, and you bounce off of each other. And I believe that we, like the idea of the two tuning forks, you're going to attune to those that you surround yourself with. Is it Napoleon Hill that says you are the 6 people that you surround yourself with, or something?
I don't know who said that, but it's so true. Yeah. You are the 6 people that surround yourself with. And so that was another thing. I didn't have we've moved a lot. And so I didn't have a whole lot of really close girlfriends. And I saw that, like, okay, here I teach about manifesting conscious reality creation, and that was a gap. So then it was like setting that intention. And I was just talking to my husband yesterday. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have amazing soul sisters who are game changers, influencers from the heart, galactic beings. It's just, I feel so rich. But I had to do some work around that to be open to receiving that, because there was like trust and, some of the girl stuff that happens when you're a girl with friends.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing, because we all have our journeys, and it sounds, I know that in hearing you speak, I know that there's a lot of our listeners that really resonate with that journey of, okay, I'm on this spiritual or consciousness journey, or I'm evolving as a being, and I one of my values is having a better life and being my better self, and constantly moving into and realizing the light vibration that is the truth of who I am, and they're like, okay, I want more expansion, I want more truth, I want more, yes, and they're hungry and they're thirsty, and that drives them, right? So sometimes I say that you can change who you are through inspiration, perspiration, or desperation. And I kind of modified that from something I picked up one day. And I said, why does it have to be through perspiration? Yes, we're working at our evolution and our spiritual development and our personal development and our relationship development, but it doesn't have to be hard. It can be something else.
It absolutely can be. So I teach leaders how to create from a place of ease and flow. It's our resistance that makes it hard. It's our resistance. I'll give you an example. So this is day 6 of a green juice detox. And we had talked about doing this for years. And because I had an eating disorder in my past, the old story, I had never in the past really liked things that were on again, off again, like diets or anything like that, just having peace and grace with food. So we had talked about it, but it seemed like, yes, we got to hire someone, we got to get these juices, got to travel 30 minutes to another place to go get them. And oh my gosh, how are we going to work? And like all these thoughts. So just whatever it is that you want to do, and just think about all the thoughts that come up in the ego. And over the past couple of years, we've done a couple, you guys are in Maui, so we've done pipa, or coconut water fast detoxes. And this month I did a 9-day coconut water detox. And what happened is it's expanded my mind of what's possible. Clean the body. And so we did this 5-day, we're day 6 now. We're introducing I had some bok choy soup this morning. But it's still just going to be all greens, no fruit, no sugars, to cleanse. But I don't have the same resistance about it. I don't have the same resistance. I'm still I'm doing this candida thing. And even that, like if I'm not feeling that good, what story am I going to make up about it?
I love that. That's great. And
so that's important. Like, I think when you're around others, whether it's mentorship, others that understand these tools on how to embody this affluent mindset, how to embody the divine being who you are, how to embody your higher self. And so it's tackling it at different angles, and that's been it's just one of my gifts. I see patterns. I did that in academia. That was what I was trained in, just looking at the patterns and seeing, okay, like when I read your energy, it's like, okay, what are those things that need to be dissolved and transmuted?
I love that. That was my first energy healing modality I studied, was getting my advanced certificate in theta healing, which is all about seeing the patterns. And something switched on inside of me where I'm like, oh, I can just energetically scan and be like, yes. So I think it's an amazing gift to be able to see what other people can't see. And you go to someone else, an energy healer or a coach, because you're like, oh, I'm stuck, I don't know. And we're like, oh, bam, that's what it is. I can see you. I see you, X-ray vision. But in a good way, and with our clothes on.
Yeah.
But, it's good. It's good. So I love that. And I think that we all have a greatness, our specialty, our DNA configuration, if so forth, that we have a very particular way of accessing our light or our gift or gifts in the world. So if you go to someone who works on, self-love and sensuality like myself, or if you work with someone who's an affluence coach like Dr. Tera Maxwell, I love saying Dr. Tera Maxwell. It's beautiful. So, it doesn't mean that you're not good enough or that you're wrong or that something needs to be fixed. It just means that your gift might be art, or your gift might be helping people, with their graphic design, or it might be something like I'm coaching people with this very particular frequency, and their frequency is different, but it's something that I want to align to.
Yes, we all hold different codes, and we're in this together. And the thing is that even whether it was building my business or a lot of things, like if I were just going to try to figure this out myself, it would have taken me so much longer. When I've been on even my journey this past year, I have friends that are leaders in the industry that have these amazing gifts, and it's asking for it's like sometimes you're like, oh, I have this itch on my back, but I can't see it. And so you go to someone else. If it's like, hey, if you want, I'm all about accelerated results.
Yeah.
How do you accelerate? How do you take your vision and bring it into your reality now? Now.
I love it. And I think that the frequency of where we are on the islands, our own islands, I think really helps with the rapid manifestation. And sometimes you see the intensity of the things you really need to clear, but also the manifestations are way quicker. I could have a thought and it could show up within minutes. And I'm just like, oh, I was just thinking about that I should call this person. And then there they are. And, and was it a warning? Was it an intuition? Sometimes you don't know, but it's all the same, really, and I could think, I really want this in my life. And then I really want a massage. And then I walk into somebody on the street and they're like, oh, I give massage. And I'm like, perfect. So
beautiful.
Things happen so quickly. So we've got about, oh my goodness, wow, we're almost out of time. So this is Dr. Tera Maxwell. You can find her on teramaxwell.com. This is How to Love Yourself. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's been an honor to be here.
Thank you. Aloha.
Aloha.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom. I had no idea how hard it would be and what I would need to know. Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and ways for me to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics, but also information about the hurdles I was facing. Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP.